Before they go and play Russia. This is currently the standings at the start of today. China in 4th place behind Japan, the USA and Russia. Russia the only undefeated team so far. And this is a round-robin tournament, 11 matches to be played. And if you finish top of the pile after that, then you win the World Cup. And the top 2 teams from this tournament get to go to the Olympic Games. So plenty to play for. One player of note, Vargas, who's just 15 years old. You would not think that to look at her. One of the sort of star players for Cuba. I was watching them train yesterday, and she didn't train with the team, wasn't involved in any of the activities, was just doing some light work, some movement exercises. Just wondering whether or not she is in fact fully fit for this. We'll find out as things go on for China. Their worry is Zhu Ting, and a dilemma for Jenny Lang Bing as to whether or not she starts number 5 Shen Jingxi setting, or whether or not number 16 Ding Xia starts.
Green light for the national anthem of Cuba. China.
It's always a proud and special moment when you represent your country, and then to have your anthem played as well. So teams make their way to the bench. Good support in here for China today. A few Cuban fans dotted around the stadium. We're in the Momotaro Arena here in Okayama. Referees today out and onto the court. First official is from Poland, Wojciech Dudek, on the left-hand side of the screen. And the second official today from Serbia is Goran Gradinsky.
The second referee is Mr. Goran Gradinsky from Serbia.
And challenge referee today, we may get to see, or we may not, just depends on what's going on. There is a challenge referee, and we may get to find out who that is a little bit later, tucked away with the challenge officials for the moment. Time then for the players to come out onto court. We're going to start with Cuba, and head coach Roberto Garcia going with his strongest team so far, and that means that Melissa Vargas will not start. So in the opposite slot today is number 2, Regla Ranieris Gracia Gonzalez. Gracia, as she's known. Number 3 going through the middle today is Elena Rojas Horta. Number 5 is setting Yamila Hernandez Santas. Number 6, Demara Leske Kejigal is through the middle. And then the 2 outside hitters today, Sulian Caridad Matienzo Linares, the captain, and number 19, Jennifer Yanit Alvarez Hernandez. That's how Cuba line up. The libero is Emily Borrell Cruz, number 10. So the full names of the players, I won't be giving you their full names during the course of the game. They do have one of those 4 names on the back of their shirts, as you can see, and Roberto Garcia knows this is going to be a tough task for him and his team today. You're looking to see really where his team are at, what kind of problems can they create against China. China with a slightly changed lineup to what we are used to seeing. Through the outside today is number 9, Chang Ning. The starting setter is Shen Jingxi, number 5. Number 8, Zheng Chunlie is the opposite player. This is how China line up. And then through the middle, number 6, Yang Junjing, and number 17, Yan Ni. So no place for Zhu Ting, number 2. Jenny Langping resting her big gun. 2 liberos for China, number 15, Lin Yi, and number 18, Wang Menjia. And it's number 15, Lin Li, who starts. And the other outside hitter, as we get to see Zhu Ting. She went over on her ankle over in Matsumoto in the last game, but then came back out. It was against Serbia, then came back out to get the job done. It was one of those games where they needed to win and Serbia were pressing, so she actually took some time out, but then was strapped up, came back on court and did the job. But then was been rested since, hasn't played since then. China know their big game to come is going to be against Russia and against Japan when they head to Nagoya for the final stage of this World Cup. Players are ready, referees very nearly ready, the crowd are definitely ready. I hope wherever you are watching from that you're ready as well. We're about to get this one underway. China in blue serving, it's Cuba in red receiving this, the best of 5 sets. Third match of the day from the FIVB Volleyball World Cup here in Japan, and a great start for Gracia as she gets that one away. And Cuba with an instant side out. The lefty left lots of line by her opposite lefty, Chen Chunlier. So both opposites into the action early. China get the point, and a huge roar for them. There's a section of the arena here which is all Chinese fans. Must be the best part of 1,000 in watching. Good touch, oh dear. That's a good touch in the block by Yang Junjing. Unfortunately, Yan Ni is the middle blocker. And such as the game has developed nowadays, middle blockers really, it's a huge bonus if they can make a dig when they're on court. They've become specialists now as blockers and attackers. A couple can serve quite tough. That ball's a little too far inside. Zheng Chunlier didn't help herself with that swing. And an overly complex set when there was a hitter available in front to put the ball away through four, but still Chang Ning has yet to have a swing, and Chen Jingxi is quite happy to keep putting the ball behind her at the moment. Nice play, Jingxi having to get down low. The ball was in flat, but she finds Chang Ning is ready to go, and she gets good block out. Chang Ning with her first serve. Net touch against China, and actually there's going to be a challenge coming here because number 21 Liu Xiaotong says, hey, I didn't touch the net. So we have a challenge, and the challenge referee is Kang Jo-hee from Korea. Charlotte Wells and Craig Brammer, the two challenge system operators, who will be providing her with the pictures so that she can decide whether or not there was a net touch by China, and whether or not Liu Xiaotong touched the net. Even though the referee pointed at Liu Xiaotong, if she didn't touch the net but another player did, it's still a fault. It's still a net touch. So they wouldn't be able to get away with it in that situation because he points to the wrong player. So the official review says no touch. Well, I was wondering what. No, there was no touch. I think it was just very close. But and what can happen is when you land with these sprung wooden floors close to the net like that, if there is any kind of vibration in the floor, that can move up into the post and make the net wobble, and can give the appearance, especially as how close Liu Xiaotong was to the net, that she touched it. And actually, looking at that official review, you have to say, whoa, that was really close. So they're calling a let, and they just need to adjust what was going on, because China were serving, and then very quickly Cuba were given the point, so the point needs to be taken off, and China go back to serving again, and it's a do-over, whatever you want to call it, just a replay. 4 each then, China with serve, Cuba looking for side out. Good lead. I watched China train yesterday, and they have two assistant coaches, male coaches, in fact 3 assistant coaches, and 3 former players for the national team indoors for the men, and they had a ball a player at 2, player at 4, and it was just bang, 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 high ball out wide, and China having to defend. And they did it very well, actually, plus jump serves coming in from the other assistant coach, and Jia, who was hitting the ball as hard as he can, trying to recreate what they are going to have here today against Cuba, which is a high ball out wide and behind, which they're going to have to defend. That was a beauty. Alvarez on the backcourt pipe, ghosting in and finding a brilliant angle. Orta with the serve. It stays in play. Well, that was a shame. Russia going for the roll shot, but it was so low to the net. China able to throw it back down pretty much. About blocking it on the way down. Shen Jingxi with the serve. That puts the opposite player, Zheng Chunlie, into the front row. 3 front court attackers for Cuba. And look at that, before that ball had even come over, before the touch, the setter was in at the net. They are organised very, very quickly, China. And that's right, some say, well, it's a free ball, so the setter should stay in play. No, as soon as you know it's a free ball, get to the net, the players around you organise, and then you're able to have this kind of an attack and split the other team's block. Jenny Langping won't be worried at the moment, even though her team are trailing by 1. Still an awful long way to go in this match. And that's where China are going to have the advantage over Cuba. They've just got that little bit more individual skill, as well as the phenomenal organisation they have. Cuba, fantastic athletes, jump out the gym, hit the ball hard. There's a bit of flair, not quite the discipline that China have. And at the first technical timeout, Cuba lead by 1.
Deficiente en la 5, la pelota viene para acá, viene Yamil, arregla, no me puedo caer en la 5 lamentando, me tengo que venir a la 6, la pelota que tú enviaste, tú tienes que atacarla por fondo del terreno, con confianza, pasa deficiente de Yamila, aquí no la trabajes contra las manos, trabaja por fondo del terreno y la defendemos, casi todos los ataques, menos en diagonal por la 4, hemos hecho contacto con el bloqueo está funcionando, entonces no la puedo regalar contra las manos, tírala por fondo del terreno. Bien, vamos, seguimos igual y ahí.
Equipo,
Las manos arriba en el bloqueo, las manos arriba en el bloqueo.
Actually, when you look at the team that's being presented to us now and the way that they're playing against China, it's quite difficult to believe that they've only actually won 1 match so far. That was when they beat Kenya, and they beat them 3-1. They lost to Japan 3-0. They lost to Russia 3-0. They lost to Argentina 3-0. And then they lost to the Dominican Republic 3-1. So issues with Cuba's game, and I suspect those are issues that start to come into play as the set wears on. A team that starts brightly but fades. And China now just moving up a level. Excellent block from the captain. Ooh, that might have been going long. Off ball. 3 front court attackers available. Zhang Ning can't find the floor. Another chance. This time it goes on the pipe. And that's a clever play. Liu Xiaotong with a little roll shot just over the top of the 3 blockers. And Cuba expecting something harder. Nice play by Santas to keep it off the floor in the first place. China have the point, and now they lead by 2. Ooh, that's not going to make it. Yan Ni goes off. Interesting watching just a few points back when the opposite player, Cheng Chunlier, made the block. She made the block in the middle and switched out with Yan Ni, who had gone to block at 2. So just moving their block around a little bit, China, to create some more problems for Cuba. Trying to seal the line, not allow them to go there, force them back inside where they feel they're more confident at being able to deal with them and make digs. So more points for China. Cuba seem to have gone into a bit of a freeze frame coming off the back of that technical timeout. 8-7 up, whereas they now find themselves behind here. 5 points for China, just 1 for Cuba. Frustration for Roberto Garcia. Good serve. Classic case of Alvarez thinking about going to hit the ball instead of actually passing it. Very poor posture as well, wasn't it? Not a good position to pass from, not a good platform.
Pero brazo adelante, no puede ser pegado al cuerpo. ¿Dónde te sorprendió? Parada y aquí. No puedo manipular los hombros. ¿Eh? Vamos.
Well, my Spanish is not very good at all, but I'm pretty sure he said guapo, which is pretty. And he's saying about we don't need to be playing pretty volleyball, just got to get out there and play. And get the job done, get up, start hitting it, start taking the block on. I think they're going to get a touch, are they? Yeah, off the block and out. And that's an example of that, just playing the game. So pretty would have been arms out, nice underhand pass. No, volley it in, get it in. You can do that, it's fine. Then go up and attack the ball. Good swing. Little slide behind. And Yang Zhenjing gets to go and serve as a result of that. Up before the block, really good play. Technical timeout. And now China with a 5-point lead after they were trailing by 1 after the first technical.
了，是特别拉了，还是比较集中了啊？后边拦不住了。小丹，你发球啊！你发完球以后，你看一下18号控球，他从腰线到这边都有，先取腰线啊，往上走，加油啊！带上我来，我们这个比赛看到位可以好，我喊你，加油！好，再加油！加油！然后短兵跟我刚才一样，我看一下。菲菲，如果我先上来，我就加油！行，加油！
China have done their homework. They are shutting down the line completely. They're very close to the antenna, and they're trying to force Cuba to go cross-court. And if they don't want to go cross-court, that's what's going to happen. Yan also working hard to drop her left hand and make sure that part of that cross-court angle is covered. And more trouble here for Cuba. Not great movement from China on that occasion, and a snatched shot means that Cuba have the ball back when, in fact, they were in the worst position. Loads of line to go at. Not a good choice from the captain. Excellent height from Cuba. They've managed to get themselves a decent ball in, and as a result of that, then they've got options. Lesquet proving very difficult to stop. That'll be a carry against the setter. They do get leniency, the setters, but even Shin Jing-si knows that was not a good play. Well, that's Xiang Changning just being caught by that serve. And then Cuba come back on the offensive. So China switch off for a second, and Cuba now breathing down their necks again. Jenny Langping calls a timeout. And not getting across the net. Garcia gets block out, and the timeout didn't really help China as Cuba get back to 3 points behind. Easy to panic when you get to this situation. In reference to China, the best thing to do is just rely on their side-out game. They've got a cushion here. They're up to 20 points, and that is going to help. Probably too far away now that Cuba can do anything about it. Yanni. Such good operating heights from Cuba. Interesting that you can see some of the players with studs in their faces. Now, I'll tell you something, if they get hit by a ball, that's really going to hurt. That could cause some serious damage. And surprising that they're allowed in. Normally, those sort of things, you don't see players wearing watches and stuff like that in case you get caught in the net, or long dangly earrings, at least you're not supposed to. Last thing you want is having your ear ripped out if it gets caught in the net. Timeout called by Cuba. China on the verge of taking the set, unless Cuba can find something to change the course of this set.
¿Cuántos ataques han atacado por línea? Ninguno. Metimos 2 saques seguidos. Yo hablo de la secuencia, qué importancia tiene un saque en un momento determinado. Estábamos bloqueando, relación bloqueo-defensa, estábamos contraatacando. No podemos meter el saque. Vamos, vamos.
Shen Cheng-Li. Oh, Cuba turning that ball back into the block. Cross court was the option. That was what was being set up, and look at that, turning it straight back into where China were waiting. Very nice delay on that little play behind. Cuba jumping too early. Set point now for China. Lack of communication by Cuba as well, not drifting out far enough. Zheng Chunlier once again. A quick swing puts the ball down on China's side before the block can be finished, and set point save. You can see the very difference that Cuba have in their passing and their attacking. Great attackers, jump, hit, put pressure on, but not so refined with their passing. A double substitution brings Ding Xiao into the back row and puts Liu Hanan in as well. So 3 options to get off of this side out and win the set. Lovely pass. And the ball goes down. Liu Yanhan doing to Cuba what they did to them the previous point. China take the opening set, 25-19. They lead 1-0, and they'll feel an awful lot better about things than they did after that first technical when they were trailing 8-7. Chinese fans enjoying that first set. It's been great support for all the teams here and a great support for the tournament since it started. Regularly a couple of thousand spectators in to watch matches, and obviously when Japan are playing it's a packed house. But it's good to see as well that those fans are then staying on, or they're coming in a little bit earlier to watch the games, and then the build-up to watching Japan play. And the teams that have come to watch one game have stayed pretty much, the fans have stayed and watched match after match. Really getting into the spirit. Volleyball, such a popular sport here in Japan. Must be a slight frustration for the Cuban head coach Roberto Garcia, because actually China weren't that far, Cuba weren't that far off, were they, in that first set? And if they would just cut down a few of their unforced errors, they probably could have made it difficult. And for as good as China are, the one thing we have noticed, those of you who have been following them throughout this tournament, is they are a little susceptible to a bit of pressure applied by another team. Mentally not as tough as Jenny Lang Ping would like at the moment, despite being World Championship silver medalists from last year. Away we go then with the second set. Cuba serving, they're in red, China in blue. China 1-0 up. Straight away, ball goes down. Yan Ni with the swing. It's well worth watching the technique of Alvarez if the ball goes to her again. She's a little bit like Hamouche of Algeria. She's quite high up, legs quite narrow. In fact, she's now been taken out of the pass, so you won't get to see that again. They've taken her right out, and that's just caused a few more problems because a lack of communication between Gracia and Matienzo. Who's the backcourt player? Matienzo needs to have taken that one, really. This time she does. Oh, great dig. And that's what China have been training for. This time, no, the ball goes down because the setter and the outside hitter were on the same shoulder line And that ball went right between them. Watch this ball, it goes right between them. They go for it and then back off. Oh, unfortunately we don't get to see it, that's a shame. But if you get on the same shoulder line as your teammate and the ball goes between you, you're never going to dig the ball. Because as you go to it, you see your teammate next to you, and the automatic instinctive reaction is to flinch away and the ball goes. And that's why you stagger your defense. One player has to be in front of the other, and then if they miss it, you've got a chance of getting it behind them. Nice. China soaking up all the pressure, coming back and taking the point, and they've got this set already by the scruff of the neck, haven't they? 5-1 up.
Tirando para la 6, no de la 5 para la 4. Ahorita tanto te lo digo, trabaja más la diagonal. Ahora después la repetición viene ahí, todo es ahí para la posición 6 casi. Hay que buscar las manos, la última mano hay que buscarla. Arriba, vamos. Equipo.
Good commit block. Moreno's coming in. And out goes Hernandez. So setter for setter. Sometimes it's great, isn't it? The setter gets the hook because the hitter has made a mistake. Moreno put in an impossible situation, and China continue to dominate in this second set. So 8-1, that's the perfect start for this second set as we hit the technical timeout. I'm not sure China quite expected it to be that easy. Matienzo puts it away. Cuba just their second point now. That's a good mismatch for Cuba. Matienzo against the setter of China. She's hitting the ball higher than the Chinese blocker can reach. That will land in, and Cuba have another point. Top swing. Chung Ning battering that ball away cross court. Block was too narrow from Orta. And again, blocking's working wonders. So more changes for Cuba. Nice work by Liu Xiaotong to cover. And again, that should stay in play. Crowd enjoying that. And it's hoisted high to allow China to reset their block defense. They're in position, and they've managed to work this back in their favor now. Although not the best of sets, so Cuba still in with a shout of taking the point. Oh, that's a magnificent dig. And unluckily for China, the ball off the top of the net goes wide. What a good rally that was. Both teams working very hard. And it looked as if China had wrestled the initiative away from Cuba, but Cuba came back and took the point. Cuba appear to have woken up now, don't they? Another good swing. Always good to see a point from end on. Good to see the height the players are working at, the speed at which they use the ball. Well, that was a show. It's still in play. Oh, I'm not sure that that's a fault. Actually, I'd be challenging that. You can go under the net. You can make it. You can fall under the net, so long as your feet don't go under the net and touch the floor. Then you're fine. Maybe from the view I had, maybe her foot did just go down before she lifted her legs up. Anyway, no challenge coming from Cuba. More points going to China. 14-5 now. And timeout called by Cuba. That would have been worth a challenge, unless quite clearly you could see a foot had gone down. So long as your foot doesn't go under the centre line, you can lie under the line and don't interfere, you're okay.
¿Cuándo nos vamos a llegar entonces a entregar la pelota esa con confianza ahí? Es una papa caliente cada vez que se ve una pelota. Y le regalamos el punto al contrario entonces.
Looking at that, that didn't look like a very positive timeout. If you've got players with faces like that when you're talking to them, that's like being at school. That's like having a bunch of kids who'd rather be anywhere else than stood right there. That's not engaging a team at all, is it, if they're looking like that? Very different style to, for example, watching the USA in a timeout. Players are engaged, they're talking, they're discussing what's going on. Coach asking them, what do they see, what's happening, what's coming next. But that was very much a being of the team giving the coach a good listening to. I'm not sure how much listening they were actually doing. Good disguise. Zheng Chunye from outside to in, and then cutting it back in the gap that was available to her. Alvarez too far off the net really to cause China any damage, and a 10-point margin now for China as we hit the second technical timeout. That was some swing. That ball looked to be going a little too wide, a little too tight. Just look at that, what a shot that was. That is the athleticism in a nutshell of Cuba. Excellent lateral speed from China with that set. And Yan Ni, very quick, putting that one away, right in between the two blockers. Excellent. Nice work from Cuba. It's all about the movement of the players around the setter, which can hold blockers and then free up spaces for the hitters to go into. Just too much on that one from Matienzo. good dig. Oh, that was such a shame. So close to the scorer's table. And unfortunately, Burrell just couldn't get the touch she wanted to bring it back to her teammates. Great one-handed dig, this, from Cuba. Liu Xiaotong getting the point eventually. Well, China finding some good gaps in the block.
Substitution by China, number 8 out, number 16.
Double substitution.
And number
Ding Xia is in, Liu Yanhan is in.
20, Yang Hangyu.
And that keeps the three front court attackers going here for China. Cuba with the serve. Very good swing from the former beach international Chang Changning. Nicely hitting Dang through the line of her shoulder, but also opened up the cross court as well with that run up. Hitting's never a problem for Cuba, really, in the context of all the other teams they play against. Their passing is what's been a bit of an issue. And it's going to cost them this set. Oh, great pickup. Liu Xiaotong, just the roll shot, could get punished. Another great dig. Lin Li is playing magnificently for her team. The libero for China. Liu Xiaotong is put down, set point saved. So eventually the point comes. China take the set 25-10. They lead 2-0. And they're one set away from victory here. And that was a bit of a collapse from Cuba. So here are the second set stats. 4 aces for China, 15 attacks, just 5 attacks for Cuba, goodness me. And that's a pretty good error rate for both teams. Cuba just the 1 error, but they just couldn't get past China, and when they did, China dug it, put it back down on their side of the net. Ting still just getting a bit of a warm-up. I doubt that she will play again with the way that China are currently playing. Absolutely no need for them to risk using her. No changes for Cuba. They're going with their strongest team. So too China, in terms of the team that they started this match with, is the same. Set 3 underway. China with the serve. Liu Xiaotong with the ball. Cuba looking for side out. Well, if they get a good ball in, then really Cuba needs to start establishing their middle, because this is just ganging up on the outside blockers. No pressure at all on Yan Ni. And they're able to go out there and make that very difficult for Cuba. Great serve from Liu Xiaotong. Burrell beaten. And China off to the perfect start in this third set. Great play, drifting in, hammering that ball away. Left-hander as well. Cuba not paying attention. Well, Cuba reverting to form here, high and wide. Time for China to get in and make digs, make blocks. If Cuba keep playing that way, they're going to have to rely purely on that. Mind you, that net's going up and down like a yo-yo. Just wonder whether the ball hit the floor before the net was touched. Indeed, it did. The ball was down. It was an elbow of Orta after the ball hit the floor, so no net fault. Net touch against China. So 2 quick points for Cuba, puts them back in this one. Good dig by the captain, but not such a good finish. Nice play. Cuba middle blocker. Leske completely opened up that cross-court angle. Just watch number 6's hands. They're just completely out of the system. There's nothing stopping that cross-court attack whatsoever. Hard hit this time. Alvarez getting a little bit angry. Good use of the block coming inside on an X. And the captain for China, Zheng Chunlie, comes all the way round. Cuba struggling to deal with that. Chinese fans quiet for the moment, but they have been very vocal, supporting their team. Porter does the business. Oh, lovely swing right onto the foot of Orta. Really fast arm from Zhang Changning. Very nicely done by China. Cuba working hard, keep the ball off the floor, but it's China who are attacking, but that's decent blocking by Cuba. They could get something here, but not if they're going to tip. China too good for that. Excellent rally. Oh, brilliant play. Absolutely fantastic dig from Cuba. And that one lands in on the line, and Cuba take the point. Wow, goodness me. There were moments there you thought that ball's surely going to hit the floor, and it thought it had hit the floor, but somehow an arm came out, or a leg came out. Oh, just a magnificent dig. Total effort from Burrell. And Cuba take the point. And then just like that, China get side out. They lead at the technical timeout, and they lead 2-0.
就是对，像这块的球也高，你上的有点早，哎，早有点像原地，就是劲儿不够了啊，吸住了啊，吸住反击的时候压住大手啊。对方两头第二都很跟进的，要吊球往心里吊一吊。对，你们那个背身球不要掉背后，那球肯定要掉心儿啊啊。他现在有点防守，大家打耐心点啊，好吧？哎，下次要换啊！哎，加一点保护，哎，加一点保护。摇摇我，哎，来，下球。
That was a nice play from Cuba, but well read by China. When a player's hand goes up in the air and there's no attack coming, it doesn't mean it's going to be a tip shot. It just means there's no hard attack coming. China reacted, and he puts the ball away. Watching Cuba play, you just feel you want to spend a whole week with them working on pass. Because if they got their pass working, and they're able to put that ball in, and the setter had the confidence to start using the middle, Cuba would be up there with the best. But it's the pass that's causing them problems at the moment. And they're compounding it with some silly hitting errors. China in control.
Pongan las nalgas al piso para que vean la pelota y puedan tirar la pelota para arriba. Pelota en alto, cualquiera hace un pase 2 y lo podemos trabajar. Si nos quedamos parados, la pelota va a ir de línea. Hay que moverse con los brazos arriba y rápido. Atacadora.
Vamos, vamos.
Bloqueo, bien fumado. Hay que mover la mano, no se puede hacer un bloqueo. No se puede ir arriba.
Xiaotong coming inside. Lots of movement around the setter for China, which is making it very difficult for Cuba to know who's going to get the ball. But that doesn't really help. Tianza just trying to hit that ball as hard as possible. So once again, the points just keep ticking over very nicely here for China. It's 14-7, 2-0 up. And what I think China were expecting to happen in terms of Cuba hitting hard and putting them under pressure hasn't really materialized in this game. And the fact that China were ready for it anyway has helped. The training session they had yesterday was specifically designed for this game, dealing with hard hits from wide positions, putting it into transition and working on their block as well. And all of that has paid off for China today and continues to pay off. 16-7, this one's almost over. once again carry on from where they left off. Very good swing. That's hours and hours in the gym practicing that off ball, high and wide, and trying to hit another deep cross or get that angle. Good cover. Wow, what a pickup that was off the serve. But Cuba, though, had the advantage and were able to take it fully. Well, Cuba have used their middle the sum total of about twice in the course of this match, and China have used it almost every opportunity they've had because it gives them that advantage. And once again, the ball goes down through the middle. And once again, Cuba try and battle their way through the outside, but we are going to have a challenge. Line judge says it was in. Cuba think it was out. So the challenge system. Technicians very quickly onto the case. And China have the point, 20 points to 9 now. So timeout called by Cuba, really just staving off the inevitable that little bit longer.
No podemos sacar la pelota suya, a él le dejamos caer la pelota. Nosotros no movemos los pies, no tenemos cómo levantarlo. Hay que mover los pies para garantizar el recibo. Entonces no podemos dejar caer el balón. Sí, vamos, vamos. Seguimos, juego.
Better from Cuba. However, straight back into the action come China. And so Zheng Chunlie gets ready to serve. Nice blocking this time from Cuba. The ball coming off of Orta and also off of Heidi Casanova, who's come into the middle as a substitute. And a double sub here for China, as we have seen throughout the game. Ding Xiao coming in, Liu Yanhan coming in. Off goes Shen Jingxi, and off goes Zheng Chunlie, the captain. They can probably go and put their tracksuits on now. That's them done for the day. So more problems in for Cuba, and that kind of sums it up really, doesn't it, for Roberto Garcia. Well, what have you enjoyed about the World Cup so far? What are you looking forward to? Get involved on Twitter, hashtag FIVB Cup. Have your say. See what everyone else is saying. And the block from China, that great wall of China of a block, means it's match point for them now. Xia keeps it in play. Liu Yanhan just goes with the tip. Oh, and that's thrown back by Casanova. Excellent play. And another match point is saved. So it's all over. China have got the job done, 25-14. They've beaten Cuba by 3 sets to nothing. 19-10-14, a great day at the office for China. Zhu Ting, number 2, didn't have to be used. The Chinese fans delighted with their team's performance. And it's good to see the players applauding the fans. Cuddle for Vavachan, but who will be the most impressive performance recipient of the Cuddly Vavachan? We'll find out shortly. There's the set statistics, an ace each, 14 errors. And look at that, I mean, China, historically, and throughout this tournament, are so mean with their errors. They make so few, and just 1 in that set. Which just sums up the way that they have played. So we're going to find out who's got the most impressive performance. And it's the captain. So Zheng Chunlie, number 8, gets Vavachan. And the team can have a picture with it. So congratulations to China, congratulations to Jenny Lang Ping. Job well done. Captain needs to go inside the score sheet. A few protocols to be observed. Ice to be put on the players once they have warmed down, had a stretch. So here are the statistics from the match. On the whole, not bad in terms of errors between the two teams, 7 and 8 respectively, but 17 blocks for China. That's almost a set's worth of blocks. And then huge number of attacks, 7 aces as well. China just too good for Cuba on the day. Cuba not making the most of their resources available and paying the price as a result of that. So just before we conclude our coverage, we will have highlights for you. The coaching staff just having their pictures taken with Babo-chan. There was a pink Babo-chan in Matsumoto. It's the blue one here in Okayama. There are various different colours. So we can now have a look at the highlights. So that's it from Okayama for today. 3 matches concluded. We hope you've enjoyed the volleyball. We hope to see you again tomorrow. But for now, though, from all of us here, it's time to say goodbye.